If you want to learn how to do dolphin pose, which is this exercise that I'm doing right now, particularly if you are a guy who's new to yoga or who's less flexible, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to cover proper technique. I'm going to give you modifications to help you build up to doing this, to make sure that you get stronger with a lower risk of injury to yourself. And you're going to learn all my tips for getting better at dolphin and strengthening your shoulders, improving your hamstrings, and much more. Watch the full video and stick around till the end. So, dolphin pose. So, dolphin pose is a combination of a forearm plank and a downward facing dog. So, you have your hands at shoulder width distant, your toes start back kind of in a plank, and then you walk your feet in, stretching your hamstrings until you kind of get into this pyramid shape with your shoulders over your elbows and your tailbone reaching back, hamstring stretching, and in this pyramid shape like this. The reason why dolphin is difficult, it takes a lot of shoulder strength, a lot of upper back strength to be able to do. It targets some muscles that even if you're an active guy, you might not properly be strengthening. I know that for me, I spent a lot of time lifting weights. I was an athlete in college, and dolphin for me really isolated a lot of weaknesses that I had. So even if you work out a lot, it might be difficult. Also, dolphin is a challenging posture for your hamstrings. It takes a lot of hamstring mobility to be able to do properly. So what ends up happening is a lot of people will kind of round their lower back when they're doing dolphin. So the hamstring mobility just isn't there, the back rounds, and they kind of turn into the C shape with the spine. And that also compromises your ability to do dolphin. So dolphin is going to work on that shoulder mobility. It's going to work on shoulder strength. It's also going to work on your hamstring mobility. It's going to work on releasing lower back tension. It's going to work on releasing shoulder tension. It's also working on your calves, your ankle mobility. So a lot of stuff going on in dolphin, but it isn't something that most people have. Most people don't have the adequate mobility to be able to do a proper dolphin. So it's important to modify this, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So if you are relatively inflexible, one thing you got to remember is you're probably going to need to bend your knees in this position, and you're not going to bring your feet as far in. So I'll show you what it would look like if I had a lot of mobility in my hamstrings and was able to do this. So if I had that hamstring mobility, I'd be able to walk my feet in. I'd feel my hamstrings stretching. I'd be able to get into this pyramid shape, stretching my hamstrings, and my back relatively flat. So if you look at my lower back now, it's relatively flat. I've got length in the front of my torso, so I'm not rounding and like collapsing in my lower abs here, but I'm keeping that length there, and that allows me to be able to do this without with a lower risk of injury to the lower back. Most people don't have that hamstring mobility, so how you're going to modify that is start from a forearm plank and then walk your feet in. And this might be all you need to do. You might not have to bring your feet in any further than this. You might also want to bend your knees so that your lower back can stay flat, and you're not putting your lower back in a position where you could get lower back discomfort or pain there from flexion in your spine. You want to have your lower back neutral as you're doing dolphin. You don't want it to round. Some other things that you can do to kind of help lock your shoulders into place. So we talked about the hamstring component. Let's talk about the shoulders now. So if you're doing dolphin and you don't have a lot of mobility in your shoulders, as you start to walk your feet in, you might notice that your elbows start to slide out like that. So one thing that you can actually do is, this does take some time. It's a little bit of a time investment, but you could use a strap, and you could put the strap around your upper arms and kind of lock your arms into place. And that way, that would prevent for your shoulders from sliding apart, and that just makes it so you can focus on the shoulder mobility a little bit more. So doing this, and I also would recommend pushing the backs of your wrist into the floor or toward the floor as you're doing this. That's going to help you be more active. So you're pushing down through the wrist, pushing down through the index fingers and the thumbs, and then you walk your feet in, and that's going to prevent your shoulders from sliding apart. And then again, bending the knees, thinking about reaching your tailbone up and back, keeping that length through the front of your torso, particularly through your lower torso, is going to help protect your lower back. Let's also talk about keeping your lower back flat, because that's really important. I've mentioned that a few times already, but I want you to see what that looks like. So if you're keeping your lower back flat, what's going to happen is your hamstrings will stretch, and
you won't compromise the lower back. If you have tight hamstrings, what's going to happen is something like this with the lower back, and you're kind of rounding, bringing yourself into that C shape. So you have to be able to understand how to properly hinge your hips so that your back stays flat, the hamstrings stretch, but you keep length through the front of your body. This is what it would look like if you weren't keeping that length, if you were coming into that C shape. And this is what you should look like. Now, if you don't have that hamstring mobility yet, that's totally fine. You just need to make sure that you're modifying for it. So again, instead of bringing your feet as far in as a yoga instructor would, you're going to bring your feet in just a little less and then bend your knees so that the back can stay flat.
You also want to make sure that your head is relaxed in this position. I see some people
kind of looking forward, doing this with the head.
You want to keep that chin tucked, keep your head kind of neutral. And then to prevent the elbows from sliding out, it helps to kind of think squeezing your forearms toward one another to keep the shoulders engaged. Now, if you're doing this properly, you also want to feel the muscles in your upper back working between the shoulder blades. Sometimes you'll see people kind of coming too far forward like this. So you want to make sure that you're feeling the weight in the upper back, that you're not feeling it in the fronts of the shoulders. And as long as you've got your shoulders kind of framed by, or your torso is framed by your shoulders, and you're not protracting the shoulders too much, then that should be fine. So just be aware that you should feel the weight in your upper back as you're doing Dolphin. Quick break for you here, guys. If you're enjoying this video, if you want more, if you want to learn how yoga can help you get stronger as a man, I've got a free 7-day Beginner's Yoga for Men challenge. No credit card required. You can sign up at the link in the description when the video is finished. At the same time, if you are putting too much weight into your upper body and you don't feel your core or your hips working at all, then that's a sign that you're not using the core and the hips. So it should be a balanced exercise. It should be full body. You should feel your hips and your core supporting your weight here. It shouldn't all just be in the upper body like this. It's not a modified plank position. It's different from a plank. So you do want to think about creating that pyramid shape with the body the best you can, just making sure that you have to bend the knees and modify for tight hamstrings with your lower body. All right, so if you're trying this and Dolphin is still really hard, that's okay. There's a lot of ways to get better at building strength and mobility for Dolphin without actually doing Dolphin. So we talked about how shoulder mobility is important to this. It also takes a fair amount of shoulder strength, of upper body strength, and then hamstring mobility. So if you're working on your shoulder strength, doing things like planks, so we can do forearm planks to build shoulder strength. We can do side planks. We can do planks with your hands planted. You can also just do upper body exercises in general. That's all going to help with building strength for down dog. And then when it comes to the shoulder mobility, we want to work on being able to get our arms overhead without arching the back. So things like down dog are going to help with overhead flexibility with shoulder flexion. Ideally, you want to be able to get your arms overhead without arching your back at all. So notice how my arm is straight up in the air, or almost there. Ooh, there we go. Just took a few seconds. But you want to be able to get your arms straight up in the air without doing this with your back. And if you can't quite do that yet, that's okay. That's something that we can build up to doing. I've got a lot of videos here in Manful Yoga to help you do that. But working on your overhead mobility, being able to get your arms overhead without arching the back, keeping the ribs drawn in, meaning not puffing your ribs out, but keeping them drawn in and neutral, that's going to help you with your Dolphin as well. Let's talk about the hamstring component here. So you might actually be able to do a down dog really well, but struggle with Dolphin. And that's because Dolphin takes more hamstring flexibility. There's not too much difference between, down dog, which is here, and then Dolphin, which is here. But if you look at me, it does take, when you lower the elbows down, it does change the angle of your body, and it makes it so that you need to have more hamstring mobility to be able to keep the back flat at the same distance, right? So here for Dolphin versus here for down dog, it just doesn't take as much hamstring flexibility to be able to do it properly. So be aware of that. To work on that hamstring flexibility, there's a lot of stretches you can do for that. Pyramid, airplane, down dog, just to name a few. You can lie on your back and do some strap stretches. You also just want to move more in general, get out of your chairs, walk more often,
and that will help loosening your hamstrings up as well. So as far as practicing Dolphin goes, I would start with 30 seconds, build your way up to 45, 60 seconds, maybe even 90 seconds if you can do it with the proper technique, and try to do 2 to 3 of those if you're practicing them on your own. If you're following along to a Manful Yoga program, you're going to be working on all of the things that go into Dolphin anyways. So we're going to be working on shoulder mobility. We're going to be working on shoulder strength. We're going to be working on hamstring mobility. We're going to be working on keeping your back flat in hinge positions. So all the things that we practice in Manful Yoga workouts are going to help you get better at Dolphin. But if you want to specifically practice Dolphin, I would do at least 30 seconds and then work your way up to 45, 60, maybe even 90 seconds, as long as you're able to focus on the proper technique and you're not feeling your body say, I shouldn't do this. Discomfort is okay, but make sure that you're not pushing in to pain, and then use those modifications. So instead of going straight into the depth that you would see a professional yoga instructor doing, you want to start in that forearm plank position and then just walk your feet in until you feel like you're being significantly challenged. Notice here that my shoulders are over the elbows,
but my back is flat. So I'm still feeling this pose just like I would if I walk my feet in more. I'm still feeling my hamstring stretching. I'm feeling the shoulder strengthening element, feeling my shoulders open up. But I'm doing a depth that's more appropriate for someone with less experience or less flexibility. So make sure that you're doing the pose as it works for you and not trying to just mirror what somebody else is doing. All right, guys, that's Dolphin. Hope you enjoyed that. If you got something out of it, be sure to leave a like on this video, comment if you have some feedback, a question, or you just want to say hi, and subscribe. We put out new videos every Tuesday, so a ton of really helpful content. We've got tutorials, we've got follow-along workouts, and much more here for free on the Manful Yoga YouTube channel. If you want to do another tutorial, I've got a really good one on shoulder stretches. Click above my left shoulder here, and you can check that out right now. See you in the next video.